Welcome to Get Moving TV. I'm Dr. Chris Landon and I serve as your host. We've been taking a look at how we make the transition from adolescence to adulthood. As children go off to college, it seems like adolescence is prolonged for everybody. And yet we have a disease where it's a very difficult transition. As a pediatrician, I care for children with cystic fibrosis, and I have to say, with all the hard work and research that's been done, now we have adults with cystic fibrosis. In fact, they take up more than half my clinic. We have Dr. Richard Belkin, who's our adult cystic fibrosis doctor, who comes down. I hate to make it sound like he's the only one who acts like an adult around there, but pediatricians like to play our jokes. And what happens is we're not just treating a patient, though. We have a professional and a family. I have to be weaned from patient care, and parents have to make a transition too. Some of the children I see, I've been seeing since they were several months old. Some are coming to me really right on the verge of adulthood themselves. Today, we're joined by two parents, and could you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Susan Imbar, and I'm the mom of Priscilla.
And I'm Sharon Brown. I have a son with cystic fibrosis, Zach Brown.
Now, how long have I been seeing Zach? Seems like
13 years.
Yeah, we've been raising him forever.
Right.
And going through lots of different gyrations there. Mm-hmm. And when you and I have tried to help Zach make this transition, you know, it seems like I get 15 minutes with you in the office, and then you get the other 364 days, 23 hours, and 45 minutes.
Right.
How many people are in your family?
I have 5 children, but in our household right now we have 13 people.
And that's what I remember. Is
Yeah.
and you have a business and accountant, and you're really trying to keep track of everything, and
Right.
And change insurance and all that. How old is Zach now?
He's 18.
18, and so he's been homeschooled for how long?
He's been homeschooled now for about 2 years.
So we work really hard on helping him to mature. Does he have friends?
Oh yeah, he has lots of friends.
And we think of school as where the girls are. At least as a boy, I used to remember that that's where they held the girls. So how does he deal socially?
Pretty much just he has a lot of friends and they hang out together. So, being homeschooled, that's where he gets his interaction, is through the friends that he has, and he's got friends who look out for him and don't mind, like he's been open with them and they know that he's got CF, and they all kind of watch out for him.
Now, I always have a vision when I see the two of you in clinic. Usually he's got a hood over his head and he's had a fever for 4 days and takes mommy to bring him in. I don't think I've heard from him himself when he's sick yet. So how's that as a mom? I mean, you got an 18-year-old boy here.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. This last visit, it took a while to get him to realize, look, you really need to go in. I see a big difference. And so he knew he needed to go in, so he finally made that decision, because he's 18 now and it was his decision. So he's realizing that it's going to be on him soon, and that's pretty scary.
Yeah. Well, I'm his doctor.
Right.
And that's and whatever, I think we've been watching a video of Becoming Christopher, and of all the people in the world I think of, Zach's one of them. Mm-hmm. It's just you and I have been raising him together, and again, you get to raise him most of the time. I do what I can. Sometimes I'll put on my dark glasses and be the mean cop, and sometimes I'll be the good cop, and between the two, it's hard for me to tell. There's a game called Battleship where over on the other side are the other people's battleships, and I'll just try things, and sometimes the battleship will blow up on the other side. Sometimes it's a big miss. What kinds of things do I do in clinic that seem to help at home?
I think your good sense of humor just makes him feel at ease, and he's just really, with the last hospital visit and being told that his pulmonary functions were so low that it could limit his life, I think it's sinking in. I think he's realizing that I'm 18 and I'm going to have to take care of me. So that's it. I mean, that was an important step for him to realize that, and to know that, if I don't take care of if he doesn't take care of himself, you know, he just has to do it if he wants to live, and if he wants a life, you know, healthy enough to be able to do the things that I want him to be able to do and he wants to do.
We all have hopes and dreams for our kids, and they, part of our job as a teenager is to say everything adults know is wrong. And how much time a day, if you were to do everything that I say, how much time would it, of course, before the E-flow, before
that?
Yeah.
Before the E-flow, we were doing about an hour a day total with the machines and the nebulizers. And it was much easier when he was little. I could do it while he was asleep. He didn't have to do a thing, but you know, as he's gotten older, wanting to hang out with buddies, you know, that's been a struggle. And to stay home and to get his nutrition and everything he needs, it's been hard, but he's now realizing that, you know, it's a lot to do with him taking care of himself that's going to make the difference. So he's growing up, and he's knowing that these are things he's going to have to deal with. So.
Well, it's been hopefully it'll be much longer than another 13 years. You and I will be working together, but it is time to start. Well, I kick his butt all the time. I think I've literally kicked his butt a couple times. Just
Yep.
had him turn around. He's gotten smarter about that one. But for you, it's a little different story. And so kind of a story of the doctors didn't know quite what was going on. And can you tell, as a mom, how you had a daughter with stomach symptoms, and what was that like?
Well, yeah, it is very different because, first of all, Priscilla was diagnosed last summer when she was 18. And the symptoms started with pain in her stomach all the time. So we took her to the family doctor, and you know, they tried to treat her with things, thinking that it was something, and it was not that. And then we ended up at a gastroenterologist, and then the gastroenterologist sent us to a pancreas specialist. And then from there, we went to a CF specialist, and they did a sweat test, and they couldn't get the sweat out of there. And then they did a DNA, first the partial and then the full one, and that's how we find out about her illness. And I think that as a parent, we are at home, my husband, another sibling of Priscilla, and myself. We have an extended family in Argentina, and everybody's really great, and everybody's very supportive, and you know, they feel very contained. We're there. I mean, at times I feel that maybe it's too much what I do by being all the time next to her, but right now it's like, you know, the boyfriend is taking over me as much as he can, and I'm fine with that. And I try to understand the anger that she may have when she has to do the treatment. And you know, I used to bug her all the time, Priscilla, eat, and I'm doing less and less of that. I'm trying to understand what her needs are and her emotional part, and I'm just there for her. Whatever she needs, I'm just there.
Well, I think that's really what I hope all of our children understand, that no matter what happens, we're there as parents their whole lives. My daughter had rented a refrigerator and forgot to turn it in, and they kept charging me for it, and she's afraid to tell me, and so, but we just love our children forever. No matter, there is nothing they can do that's wrong, and I hope as parents we can get that across. But making that transition from hovering and feeling safe about that and giving them room, that's a tough one.